All right, all right, all right. Yeah. So you may as well consider this video to be a continuation of my video that I made last night called Getting This Shit Off of My Chest. Now, some people may give me credit for coming up with the term stagnation creators as a label for a lot of these individuals who create content that keeps people in a stagnant state, that their content does not promote any type of growth, any type of progress or improvement for people's lives. Oh, what up, Alonzo? What up, Alonzo? Alonzo, that's a progressive brother right there. That's a brother that's about progress and improvement. Same thing with complex design. What's going on? So going back to what I was saying, yeah. So some people may give me credit for coining the term stagnation creators, but personally, I'll give the credit to my man named Sir Obadiahu. Some of you may be aware of this content creator, because I remember 2 years ago, he would refer to certain content as stagnation or stagnation content, right? So he would use the term stagnation content and evergreen content. Now, I don't think he was the one who made up these terms, but he used them a lot. But so part of me utilizing the term stagnation creators was partially due to Sir Obadiahu utilizing term stagnation content. And he was the first one that I heard utilize this term. Now, I don't think he was the one who created these terms, but he was the first one that I heard utilize these terms when labeling certain content that promotes the stagnation of people. And then he used the term evergreen content to label content that promotes the opposite, right? So I just turned around and took the term stagnation and used the term creators because partially because of, like I said, Sir Obadiah utilizing the term stagnation content, and also because I cannot consider some of these bitch ass niggas to be content creators because what they're creating is not content. What they're creating is stagnation. Thus, they're stagnation creators that create stagnation porn. That's all it is, a bunch of fucking stagnation porn. You know? What up, y'all? What up, you guys? Hold on for a minute. Let me see something here. I can't respect that. I can't give these bitch ass niggas um the respect to enough respect to call them content creators. They're not. They're bitch made, whole ass stagnation creators who want to keep people in a level of misery, who want to keep people in a level of pain, who wants to keep people dwelling in negativity by always making videos complaining about females, complaining about society, complaining about this, complaining about that, complaining about Pookie and Ray Ray, and trying to paint the picture of how quote unquote Pookie and Ray Ray are getting all the sex from these rotten pussy bitches that you shouldn't even desire anything from outside of staying the fuck away from you. You know what I'm saying? These stagnation creators refuse and will often go against those who are about moving forward. They against and will go against those who are about moving the needle forward and sitting and putting old ways of thinking like worrying about rotten pussy bitches out on the wayside and focus on bigger and better things in life. This is why a lot of these motherfuckers go against people like AM1. This is why a lot of these motherfuckers go against people like Men of Tomorrow. This is the reason why motherfuckers like that go against people like the Black Brain Trust. This is why these types of bitch ass niggas go against people like me and anyone else who's about moving forward. They'll go against the Raels of the world. They'll go against the Alonzo Halls of the world. They'll go against the BMTs of the world. They'll go against the business talk with K's of the world. Right? Hold on. Yeah, let me give some. Yeah, give some wrenches. Give some wrenches out. Oh, that's hold on. Is that? Yeah. I mean, it's so pathetic that at one point in time you had a fucking registered sex offender try to make videos going against me, going against other people, and it's like just because we're about moving the needle forward, but that's because when you advocate true progress, which is promoting the advancement of yourself in every areas of life, whether it's mentally, physically, economically, socially, etc., etc. When you move to that, when you move people to that paradigm, the people or the audience will no longer have a desire listening to stagnation porn because they'll be awakened and realizing that stagnation porn is what held them back from gaining actual improvement and progress in life. Thus giving thus giving stagnation creators less power in this space. Thus their popularity, their online popularity will go away. Thus their subscriptions will go away, which means that their donations will go away. So it's imperative for these stagnation creators to keep the viewing audience in stagnation, or in other words, keep them in a level where they'll dwell in misery, where they'll dwell in sadness, where they'll dwell in depression. Because when you keep people dwelling in that sort of when you keep people dwelling in that phase, they'll always go back to these stagnation creators to always listen to them, thinking that these stagnation creators have the remedy for their problems when they really don't. Oh, what up? Yo, Joe, is that yo, Joe? Is that Joe W? Is this Joe W? Oh, yeah, it is. It looked like Joe W in the picture. What up, Third Ward? What up, Jacques Nick Kenobi, Rael? Oh, okay, that's Joe W. Let me give Joe W yeah. Let me give Joe W a wrench. You know, and it's also imperative for the stagnation creators to try to find a way to assassinate the characters of people like me and others who speak against this stagnation porn. But you see, the thing is that when they try to speak against us, they often fail because the facts are on our side. The truth is on our side, not on theirs. The truth is on our side, not on theirs. So this is why at the end of the day, we can always make them look stupid. That's why whenever people like myself, people like AM1, Man of Tomorrow, BMT, Rael, or Mike V, Soul in Black, Complex Design, etc., etc. That's why when we fire back, we always end up winning and making them look stupid. You know, D Darrell is a progressive brother. D Darrell is always the type of brother that can fire back and make motherfuckers look stupid. We always improve in doing that because the truth is on our side. The facts is on our side. You know, when it comes to these stagnation creators, the truth is not in them. It was never in them. This is why it's so easy to debunk them. This is why it's so easy to poke so many holes in their arguments because the truth was never in them. But the thing is, it is up to the viewing audience to recognize that. It's up to the viewing audience to recognize when the truth is not in someone and recognize when someone is lying to them. It's up to them. This stagnation porn, boy, it's not leading anybody to anywhere that's positive. But that was never the goal of these stagnation creators in the first place. It was never the goal of stagnation creators to actually lead any members of the viewing audience into a much improved life. No, 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 no. It was not. These stagnation creators are all about increasing their online popularity. And remember, these stagnation creators, for the most part, have nothing else to live for because a lot of these stagnation creators have never ever experienced any type of success or accomplishments anywhere outside of the internet. This is all they have. I stated this in my prior video. This shit right here is all that a lot of these motherfuckers have. That is very true. That is very true, Rael. For the past 100 plus years, the academic, pseudo academic class of black males have undermined the black business class of black America, undermined the very institution building that we need. Yeah. Yeah. And Rael, you already know why this is the case. Because the black business class, who are about implementing action in order to get successful outcomes, actually, will actually make the pseudo academic class look stupid because the pseudo academic class is all about sitting on a soapbox and opening their dick sucking lips and talk and just do more talking and talking and do a bunch of intellectual masturbation to feed their own ego while not actually that doesn't that does not result in any improvement for the people that they're preaching to. But the black business class does that. The black business class actually does that. They actually show and prove what progress is, which is a threat to the pseudo academic class. So it is up to the pseudo. So it is imperative for the pseudo academic class to create propaganda trying to assassinate the character of the black business class in order to discourage the viewing audience from following the black business class. And you see this type of shit going on here in so-called black YouTube, where you have the stagnation creators doing the same thing to the progressive ones that the pseudo academic class did to the black business class. You know, there's an episode of the Black Brain Trust where Complex Design and Rael, where they spoke about this. They spoke about how a century ago, people like W.E.B. Du Bois was going to different universities and just different places, attempting to assassinate the character of Booker T. Washington to try to discourage anyone from working with Booker T. Washington because he found Booker T to be a threat. When in reality, Booker T. Washington was a type of man who was about action. He was all about going out into the real world and implementing real life strategies that will result in progress. And he was spreading this across the Black American diaspora, and W.E.B. Du Bois found that to be a threat because really to actually make it plain, W.E.B. Du Bois was the type that he wanted black people to follow him. So therefore, it was imperative that he tried to destroy Booker T. Washington's reputation in order to discourage the public or the black public from following Booker T. When really Booker T had showed and proved the real life solutions that so-called black people needed. Yeah, that is true. That is true. Yeah, that is true. When Carter G. Woodson wrote that book, The Miseducation of the Negro, he did address the academic class and their failure to help promote black progress. He did. But this is the type of bullshit that you see now. Yeah. The so-called talented 10th. Yeah, Rael, he said this academic class was instrumental in getting Garvey locked up, but they and deported, but they will claim they are pro-black based on their rhetoric when they were never black nationalists. Yeah, That's true. What up, Toya? What's going on? What's up? Yeah. It's a bunch of stagnation porn that you see here. So it's funny because the pseudo intellectual, the pseudo academic class of so-called black people was engaging in stagnation porn for well over a century. And even now in 2023 online, you see this same type of stagnation porn going around. I mean, it's because like I said before, in today's time, what a lot of these stagnation creators do is engage. See, basically, they're a bunch of losers who try to paint themselves as winners, but try to keep their viewing audience in a position to perpetually be miserable in order for their audience to be losers also. And the thing is with the and the thing is once they accomplish making their audience be or keeping their audience in a position to dwell in misery and pain and to be perpetual losers themselves, since these stagnation creators paint themselves as winners in life, their viewing audience who's dwelling in pain will always try to run back to them, hoping that they receive a remedy for their pain that they're feeling, when in reality, they'll only receive a placebo. They'll only receive a placebo. And we all know what placebos do. The only thing that placebos do is make you think that you're healed from whichever problem that you have. But in reality, it does nothing for you. That's what these stagnation creators do. It makes you the type of stagnation porn that they produce makes their audience think that they're receiving a solution when all they're receiving is more stagnation, more misery, more pain, more anger, more negativity. It does nothing to them. It does nothing to heal the trauma and the lack of progress in their amongst their viewing audience. Rael says he's speaking about W.E.B. Du Bois and Booker T. Washington. He said, and let's not forget, Booker T. asked Du Bois twice to come to Tuskegee and teach, but instead he built up Harvard over Tuskegee. Washington even used Du Bois's social science research to teach at Tuskegee. Oh, see, the last part I didn't even know. I didn't even know that. But thanks for that information, Rael. It's funny that Rael stated that because what he just said reminded me of a situation that happened about 2 years ago when I was listening to this live stream. I was listening to this one person's live stream, and it was several people speaking in the live stream, and they was complaining. Basically, the live stream was all about. Well, within that little conversation, people within the live stream was complaining about how YouTube is censoring the voices of black male content creators. So one person within the conversation suggested that, okay, why can't black males come up with their own social media sites and get the hell off of YouTube, which will reduce the chances and or even prevent our voices from being censored. And a person responded to that. Another person responded to this individual by saying, you see, which, by shaming him, by saying, you see, what you want to do is run away. You want to run away from YouTube. We're not supposed to do that. And in the back of my mind, I'm like, what? I'm like, I'm sitting there, I'm saying, so in the back of my mind, I'm listening, I'm saying, uh, you mean to tell me that you equate a person who establishes their own entity or their own social media site is quote unquote running away? So being independent means that you're running away. So so to that person's logic, he's saying that it's better for so-called black people to continue to build up a website that is supposedly quote unquote censoring them instead of building up your own. And what Rael just stated in this comment that I highlighted reminds me of this conversation because it reflects the anti-progressive nature of a lot of these stagnation creators or just a lot of these stagnant motherfuckers in general. That they're not about building anything for so-called black people. They claim to be for, like, a lot of people within so-called Black Manosphere 2.0, they claim to be for the upliftment and improvement of the black male collective when almost everything they say and do goes against the improvement and upliftment of the black male collective. They don't give a fuck about niggas. I mean, these are the same motherfuckers, right? Who, if they have an issue with another so-called black male online, they will make all these videos lying on that other so-called black male, like bitches. Like, I can't believe that these are the type of so-called men that exist in this shit. That if someone doesn't like you and they'll make a video, quote unquote, roasting you or going against you, they will make up lies about you. Just to try to assassinate your character. And they'll make up lies after lies after lies about you. But yet at the same time, they'll claim to be for the upliftment, growth, and progress of the black male collective. But how could you be about the growth, progress, and upliftment of the black male collective when you're sitting there gossiping and making up lies about another black male? How could you do that? Like that's a contradiction. Because when you make up lies about another black male just to try to assassinate their character in order to try to destroy their channel, you're doing everything that is contrary towards uplifting the black male collective. And these are the same types of Negroes who will try to falsely flag the YouTube channels of other black males. So how do you consider yourself to be about the upliftment and the forward movement and the growth of the black male collective when you're doing these things? You ain't fooling nobody. Right. Right, complex. Yeah, I like how people think you're not supposed to respond to that bullshit. Literally, get the fuck out of here. Exactly. Exactly. Joe said, ain't that the truth? Coming up with a lot of coming up with some bullshit. Yeah, they think you're not supposed to respond to that type of nonsense. And it's like a lot of these people don't understand. Well, they do understand that the types of things that they engage in online, they can't do these things in the street. They can't do these things outside in the street because that'll get them killed. Okay? The type of shenanigans that a lot of these dumbass niggas engage in on the internet won't be tolerated outside in the street because that'll get their fucking heads blown off. Because there's people out in the world that don't play that shit. And there's a lot of people, like my homeboy would tell me, right, about people like that there's a lot of people laying down in the cemetery because they played with the wrong one. And you got this whole doxing shit. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it with people who feel the need that they have to put out other people's personal information just because they have a personal problem with them. That's the dumbest shit. That you're gonna publicly display someone's government name, their address, what they did for living, how much money that they make. For what for? What for? Now you're putting people in danger now. When you're putting people's addresses out, when you're putting, you know, their government name out, when you're putting out pictures of people's children and people's grandchildren, you putting, dude, you're putting people in a position to get hurt. I don't see the sense in that. Yeah, exactly, Joe. Exactly, Joe. Joe said when you respond to what they said, they then want to play victim that you attack them. Yeah, yeah. They want to play the victim. Yeah, they have no idea. No, no. You know what, Rael? I'll take that back. They have an idea how grimy shit can get, which is why a lot of these dumbass niggas on here do not go outside in the street with their shenanigans. They don't. They keep it online. They understand how grimy shit can get outside in the street. See, when they're online, they feel safer because they're hundreds, if not thousands of miles from everybody else. Thus, they feel safe to go out, to be on the internet and do all the stupid shit that they do, thinking that they can get away with it. When in reality, even if you're online, you can still get touched. Even if you're not outside in the street, you're still online. It's possible for someone to find out where you at and get you touched. But you see, people don't understand what they do not understand is that people like them are not worth a life sentence in prison. So that's why most people who have the know-how to do these things, to find people on the internet, choose not to do it by choice. But don't push it though. Don't push it. Like Tupac said, I'm not a killer, but don't push me. Revenge is the sweetest joy next to getting pussy. Exactly. That's another good point, Rael. Rael, that's another great point. He said blacks will research to docs, but won't research their own family history, won't research the people in their past who displayed greatness under the most trying circumstances in our history. Exactly. Exactly. It's more progressive to do that, to research your own family history, to see the most progressive people in your family who underneath who was living in some trying times, who had to overcome more obstacles than we had to overcome today, but still found success. If people research their own family tree, that might give them motivation and inspiration to actually continue the greatness of the people in their past. But no, people want to spend time to research, to dox other people, and to try. This is all goddamn stupid. You know, and these stagnation creators come up with these stupid arguments, such as, well, oh yeah, well, we need to have this imaginary negotiation table with females for so we can negotiate their submission in exchange for our resources. This shit is crazy. And then you got some people that will go as far as to say, well, females are coming to the table. What table? What table? And it's like, people who believe in this negotiation table theory don't realize that if you only have the willpower to stay away from females that possess bad behavior and gravitate towards females who actually have great qualities and have the potential to be a great wife, you will not need a negotiation table in order to have their submission. Because if you gravitate towards these types of females, they'll automatically be submissive to you. They'll automatically give you that respect that you deserve. Dumbass. Talking about an imaginary negotiation table. Come on. But that's part of that's part of the strategy of these stagnation creators, which is to give their audience false hope of thinking that this imaginary negotiation table with so-called black females will actually solve the issues that they seem to have with so-called black females. You know, their solution has nothing to do with just avoiding no good females and actually knowing what the hell you want in a female and gravitating towards the females that possess good qualities. No, 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 no. That's not the solution. That's not what they think is a solution. They think that the solution is to have this negotiation table. This is fucking crazy, man. You want a negotiation table. What type of shit is that? So you want to negotiate. You want to negotiate with females, huh? You want to negotiate with females no matter what bad qualities that they have. I mean, I'm just saying. What type of shit is that? A negotiation table. But once again, these are the types of arguments that these stagnation creators create. Another stupid argument that's giving the viewing audience in this space false hope by making them think that it's a viable solution that would solve the problems of black males is by removing women's rights. That's another stupid ass argument, an unrealistic one. How is removing women's rights is going to solve your situation as a so-called black man or black male in America? How is removing women's rights is going to solve the solution of black males being victims of employment bias by a mainly white society or employment discrimination? How is removing women's rights going to solve the issue of black males being highly targeted by police when it comes to racial profiling, police brutality, and or police murder? How is removing women's rights going to solve the crime epidemic that takes place in a lot of predominantly black neighborhoods? How is removing women's rights going to alleviate the poverty that exists in black America? How is removing women's rights going to alleviate the drug issues that that takes place in so-called black America and the United States and America as a whole? There's a big fentanyl problem that's taking place in America and that have been taking place in America for like at least a decade now. The fentanyl issue is big in black America as well as white America, where you got a lot of younger so-called a lot of younger people in general, regardless of race, dying of fentanyl use. How is removing women's rights going to solve these issues? What up, D. Durrell? What up, Kevin? I mean, like I said in my last video, as a so-called black male who even in America, who even in today's time, whose rights have not been fully acknowledged and who have a long history of other groups trying to remove their rights or trying to stop them from actually living as a stable man in society, should know how fucked up that feeling is, therefore should not advocate the removal of the rights of any other groups of people. Yo, Toya, what are you talking about, Toya? Toya, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Use a part when referring to a piece or portion of something. When describing something separated from something else, use a part. What are you talking about? Anyhow, yo, all right, man. So whatever Rael and Toya, whatever y'all got, whatever y'all got going on, handle that shit someplace else, man. Y'all both cool with me, but if y'all got some issues with each other, keep that away from my channel. All right, keep that away from my channel. You know, yeah, I know. Toya's cool with some of these cats that I don't fuck with. I mean, with me, I'm not one to trying to dictate who someone else could be cool with and shit like that. If you choose to be cool with them people on that side, that's on you. I don't fuck with them. I say fuck them for life. But if you cool with them, that's your business, not mine. But anyhow, right? Moving forward, yeah. This stagnation is holding a lot of so-called black males online back 100 years. You know what? I have to take that back because 100 years ago, so-called black people had more goddamn sense than so-called black people today. It seems like, you know. But these ridiculous arguments, such as the imaginary negotiation table between so-called black males and females, that will never ever take place, and this notion of removing women's rights as a viable solution that would alleviate the problems of men and all these other dumb arguments is not moving the needle forward and will not move the needle forward because these types of arguments are a bunch of unrealistic things that is not proven to work. I mean, that is not proven to work in society. I mean, can someone give me any proof of how society improved by removing the rights of other people? Can someone give me proof how a whole society became better because they moved to remove the rights of a certain group of people from receiving gainful employment or formal education and rights to vote and rights to own property? Someone give me a real life example of that. See, because these ideas that these stagnation creators have isn't backed up by any credible sources as a means that would improve society. Prius 2099 says they're constantly trying to bring hood rats back to this imaginary negotiation table because of their egos. They can't handle rejection by them. They think if they get these females' approval, they'll that'll validate them. Yeah, yeah. That's right, Rael. They had a whole so-called black people 100 years ago in America had a whole bunch of sense with less education. People today are so miseducated. Well, he said these people are so miseducated and don't even know it. It's sad and pathetic. Yeah. There's another point I was going to make too, man. I was going to make another point, but that stuff just completely flew out of my head, man. You know. But all in all, like I said in my prior video, this space that is now known as the Black Manosphere have been infiltrated by simps. Like a large portion of these content creators that you see making this stagnation porn are really simps. And like I always say, they're simps in sheep's clothing. I mean, have you guys ever known simps in real life? Unfortunately, I have simps in my family, which is unfortunate. Well, on my mother's side of the family, that is, right? The males on my father's side of the family, for the most part, are decent people. But unfortunately, a lot of males in my mother's side of the family are some fucking simps. All right. And some of them watch my content, and if they got a problem with that shit, that I said that shit, fuck them. Because a lot of them, I don't even like them anyway. They know I don't like them. But going back to what I was saying. So, me growing up having simps and watching simps in my family, I understand how simps operate. And when simps do not get their way with females, okay? When simps go through a quote unquote dry spell where they're unable to get lucky with a female that they've been struggling to get with, they'll spend so much time complaining about how all women are no good, how all females are this, all females are that, and they will dwell in that for a very long time until they find a female stupid enough to give them some pussy. Okay, okay. So I'm not alone in this. Yeah, we all got them. Yeah, yeah. And this is the same thing that these niggas do on here. I'm telling you, I've seen this shit in my family where these niggas will throw their whole dignity, where these niggas will throw their whole there's a word I'm looking for, where they throw their own integrity to the wayside in hopes to get lucky and get some pussy from some female. And when that doesn't work out, they will cry and complain forever, and they will dwell in these complaints, and they will even try to get other people to buy into their complaints, to dwell in misery with them. And if you do not dwell in misery with them, then they'll try to make it seem as if something is wrong with you. This is how simps operate, and this is what you see in this motherfucking space online. I mean, is it a coincidence that the few female content creators that you see Well, I won't say few, but I'll say a growing number of female content creators and stagnation creators that you see. They come on here, they'll make the same talking points as the many male creators that you see here and have even more popularity and get more donations from the male creators that they copy their whole talking points from. And most of the people who's financially supporting these female creators are the male audience. Think about that. A lot of these male audience would rather support the female creators than the male creators when a lot of these female creators are only copying and pasting their talking points that they get from the male creators that came before them. Now, I'm not here to try to dictate or shame people for utilizing their freedom of choice to donate to whoever they want to donate to. But at the end of the day, you have to call a spade a spade. These niggas on here put pussy in a pedestal so high to the point of the fact that it doesn't matter what a male creator says, a female creator can come and copy and paste the same exact points that a male creator have said, and the predominantly male audience will financially support that female creator way more than they'll financially support that male creator. I mean, if a motherfucker choose to donate their money to a female creator or any creator for that matter, that's their choice. But just because it's their choice, it doesn't take away from the fact that males preferring to support a female creator than a male creator who make the same points is a bitch ass move. You got the right to do what you want, but that doesn't mean that doing what you want will avoid criticism. My man, Culture Invasion Podcast says, fuck their choice. It's lame as fuck. It is lame as fuck. It is. It's lame as fuck. But this is what you have here, man, unfortunately. Oh, I stand on my square too. I know you stand on your square, Culture Invasion Podcast. I stand on my square too. You know what I'm saying? I just had to give that disclaimer because just in case if some dumb motherfucker were trying to come and respond saying, well, we could do whatever we want to do. We could, you know how some of these dumb motherfuckers are. So, yeah, don't get me wrong, I stand on my square. So just because I give a disclaimer out there, that doesn't mean I don't stand on mine. But I get what you're saying, though. Yeah, fuck them simps, yeah. Because these simps is what destroyed the space. And have the nerve to consider themselves to be red pill. Fuck that shit. Yeah. What these simps are doing is counterproductive. I agree. But yeah, Toya said it right. Mm. I'm not saying to not support any female creator, but once again, this space is supposed to be about the upliftment and improvement of the black male collective. At least this is what a large portion of the males in this space claim to advocate. So if a large portion of the males in this space claim to advocate for the upliftment and improvement of the black male collective, how come it's the female creators who are receiving more support than the male creators in this space? It doesn't sound right. You know, it's like, wait a minute, something ain't right. you know, that's contradicting. That's a good point, Rael. Rael said this shit is bigger than one man. I have offered my resources to niggas I think are goofy to get some shit built for the whole of us because when we're gone and no institutions, it will be brutal. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that is a good point. That's a good point, but an unfortunate and sad point. That's why I'm hoping that the next generation of so-called black males have more sense than the so-called black males of today. I'm just hoping that does not happen, but there's a possibility that what Rael just said in this comment right here may happen, which is unfortunate. I just, it's just, it's something, man. This place is something else. But like I said before, this is what happens when simps infiltrate a specific community. When simps infiltrate a specific community, this is what you have. You have nothing but uh, um destruction. You know, it's not it's not donations or or monetization of channels that destroyed this space, like some people claim. It's not the females that destroyed this space, as some people claim, because technically speaking, like I've said a long time ago, some of the original creators of this space were females. So I can't say the females destroyed the space. You know, it's not the white man that destroyed this space. It's not immigrants that destroyed this space. It's not, it's not feminism that destroyed this space. What destroyed this space is due to the high infiltration of simps coming into this space pretending to be for the upliftment and progress of the black male collective, but yet create content to keep black males in a state of misery and pain, thus keeping their audience stagnant in life. That's what destroyed this space. Okay. What up? What up, G Dizzle? What up? What up, MOT? Man of Tomorrow. Right. He says, I don't seek unprincipled men's money, attention, adulation, or favor. Exactly. Me neither. Exactly. Weak men destroyed this space. Weak to clout, weak to ignorance, and no peen control. Exactly. 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 Motherfuckers making content crying and complaining about what some female says. Some female can make a video saying, I don't date bus drivers. I prefer to date someone who owned the bus company. And so many males will make videos complaining about that as if they had a chance to date that bitch who said that. And why would you even, and if you niggas do desire a bitch like that, why would you? You know, dudes making videos getting mad at a professed groupie for being a groupie. I don't get that. It seems as if they think making videos trying to shame such females is going to result in some sort of change in these females or in these types of females when it's not. You know, it seems as if a lot of males in this godforsaken space are trying to change the no good females of the world. And if so, then this means that the many bitch ass niggas in this space are paying more attention on fix or on quote unquote fixing the females than fixing the males. In an online community that was supposed to be about fixing the problems of the black male collective. It's amazing. It's amazing. But once again, this is what happens when simps infiltrate a specific online community. Simps are not about being progressive. Simps are not about getting things done to help improve the conditions of a certain group of people. Simps are not even about accomplishing any types of goals outside of getting some rotten pussy from some stank bitch. Simps revolve their lives around what is in between the legs of some rotten female. Now, for those of you who have bad comprehension skills, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with males loving females because, of course, I'm a heterosexual man too. I love females, I love women. Okay. And I'm not saying that there is anything wrong with males pursuing female partnership. But there is something wrong with suckers being impressed by mediocre pussy. Or, in other words, males who are compromising their own integrity in hopes to get some sort of satisfaction from a female. And the latter is what you see when it comes to a lot of males in this space. Right, right, Rael. The very dudes who caused the space to be what it is now, full of bitch assness, have a problem with men who represent the very code necessary to get shit built. These are the sandcastle niggas. Yeah. Sandcastle niggas. So said at this point, there's no excuse to not know what this space is about. Right. The disaster teacher said this space is group therapy. He said that shit. Hold on. He said that shit. God damn. Whoever said that shit and is serious about that, have hit an all new low. You know what? Maybe this person was trolling. Sometimes I think homeboy be trolling, Rael, because I don't think that someone can be this delusional to say something like that. But uh, let me continue to read what Rael said in this comment. He said, "Niggas aren't here for solutions and building an economic infrastructure. They want to use a white man's platform to talk shit about Keisha. Yeah, yeah. But that first sentence, man, that first sentence, uh, you know, fuck it. I ain't got nothing else to say about that shit. you know, yo, I suggest people, and when I mean people, I'm especially talking about the viewing audience of this space, to gain some proper comprehension skills, gain some critical thinking skills, gain some analytical skills, gain some discernment, gain some wisdom, and recognize when someone on the internet is lying to you, for so you won't be able to fall victim to these lies, for so you won't go out in the world and go crazy and shit. Just like this incel shit. Another another um another doctrine and theory that keeps males in a stagnant state. And although I've been guilty of utilizing the word incel in the past, the thing is I had to do some more thinking. I do something that most so-called black people don't do, which is think. I had to do some more thinking, and I realized that an incel, really an incel, or quote unquote involuntary celibate, is they're really compromised of mainly males who are mentally ill, and thus when they're mentally ill, they are not good at socializing. So therefore, when they try to pursue a female counterpart, since they have an inability to socialize, because they're most likely socially awkward, because people who are mentally ill for the most part do come out as socially awkward, and you see their social awkwardness, it turns off a lot of females because the females see it and the females like, ugh, I don't want to speak to you. But instead of these males seeking professional help in order to heal from their mental illness and learn how to be more and learn how to actually have proper social skills for so they can socialize better with people, thus improving their chances of finding a female counterpart, they assume that the reason why they turn off females is based on how they look, that they're not genetically blessed or some other shit. No, It's because you motherfucker, nigga, you're crazy. Oh, damn. And when I spoke about the incel shit, a lot of motherfuckers just left. God damn. Shit. When I spoke about the incel shit, a lot of people went pew and left. Goddamn, but it's the goddamn truth, man. The truth scares people. But a lot of these so-called incels just need to seek professional help. A lot of these males who are incel, a lot of them have, I did some research on these incels, and a lot of them have similar issues. They're adult males who are not really productive in life. They're depressed and they suffer from many other mental illnesses. They live at home with their mothers or grandmothers or some female family member who have a history of being overbearing and abusive to them. They have low self-esteem. They're socially inept. So thus they've been unable to go out in the world and properly socialize with others. Thus, as a result, they have an inability to actually find a proper female counterpart because you have to be able to socialize in order to be able to find a counterpart. But like I said before, instead of actually recognizing that, they assume that because they don't have the supermodel good looks, that's why they're unable to attract females. And so many people within this space believe that bullshit, which is not true. But these are the types of false doctrines that run amok in this space. And yet these motherfuckers who promote these types of false doctrines have the nerve to consider themselves to be red pill, thus perverting the label and or metaphor known as red pill. Now you're better off disassociating yourself from the term red pill because it have been perverted so goddamn much. The term red pill, like I've said over and over again, is a figure of, or excuse me, is a metaphor which represent being aware. That's all it means. It's a metaphor which means to be aware or to have a higher state of consciousness and to be aware of how society truly operates, to be able to see through the veil or the lies that society promote and be able to see how society truly operates beyond the veil. And it takes a higher state of consciousness in order to have that ability, which is why I also define the metaphor red pill as having a higher state of consciousness, having a higher state of awareness, being truly socially and politically conscious of the world around you. But these dumb niggas have taken the metaphor red pill and have associated the metaphor with a whole bunch of these false and lame doctrines, thus giving the term red pill in today's society a negative connotation. That's true, Toya. Some don't have access to higher consciousness because they're too fucking retarded. I just have to say, just like that, you know? You know, the image that the term red pill have now is so negative that it's associated with being an incel. It's associated with being a fucking so it's associated with males being miserable. The term red pill is now associated with males becoming mass shooters because allegedly throughout the past few years, mass shooters have been known for engaging in quote unquote red pill content, in which investigators believe that this quote unquote red pill content is what influenced these mass shooters to go out and do this uh, um um and do the dumbass shit that they've done, hurting people. It's fucked up. So it's like in today's world on social media, you're better off disassociating yourself from the term red pill and blue pill because those terms have been so perverted to the point of fact that it'll make you look bad if you continue to associate yourself with these terms, which is fucked up because these terms are supposed to be intelligent terms, or these metaphors are supposed to be reserved to the more intelligent people, the more conscious individuals. But when simps and retards infiltrate an online community, which was originally created by intelligent people, this is what you're going to have. You're going to have words being taken out of context and words being perverted because of these simps and retards infiltrating this online community and promoting destructive doctrines. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yes. Yes, Rael. Yes. Sometimes when I'm watching channels like Bloomberg News and others to see all the business taking place globally, it shows me how far behind black men are. It's embarrassing, honestly. Unfortunately, it is. It's very embarrassing and it's very sad. So that's why I keep telling people that it's necessary for us to have the critical thinking skills, the analytical skills, the proper social skills, the wisdom, and the discernment needed in order to recognize the world around you and recognize when you're being lied to for so you won't fall victim to these lies, thus preventing and or drastically reducing the chances of you living stagnant. What up, Auntie? What's up? What's up, Auntie? What's up? So therefore, I've been speaking long enough. I bid you motherfuckers a farewell and a good day. I have to go. All right. Peace.